back, everybody. How is it going? Welcome to Mic'd Up with AJ and TJ. I'm your host AJ, and I'm here with the face that runs the place, TJ. How you doing today?
I'm doing amazing, and everyone should know why, because when we're filming this, it's Friday, March 26th, which is a national holiday. It's sneaker culture. It is Air Max Day, so should be balloons falling, confetti, and everything. I don't know if they can edit that in for anybody that's
Brian will make it work. He'll do something. Brian will make it work. I'm sure there's gonna be like balloons coming here or like Air Maxes.
It's a celebration today, guys. It's Air Max Day.
Celebration. All right. So speaking of Air Max Day, Air Maxes are comfortable for people who, and I guess I do wear Air Maxes. I don't only wear Jordans. TJ wears Air Maxes. She doesn't, you just don't see us wearing it all the time. So, I just actually posted something today. Shout out to City Gear and Hood Sports for sending me the Air Max 97 Concords. Let me just show them real quick.
Yeah, he's gonna bring the. This was a really cool full circle. Last year I was able to be a part of Air Max Day, and now this year it's AJ's turn, so he's part of the Air Max Day 2021 campaign.
It was crazy because I remember last year when TJ was part of it, she's like, we can't say anything. I'm like, all right, I'm sitting quiet. And then I saw her post, and out of nowhere, she's like, I'm like, yes, we can say stuff, but it's cool. Like, like the squads, but the BFFs are been part of Air Max Day. And before we got on, we were talking like, this Air Max 97 it could be an everyday shoe.
I think that's a classic everyday spring or summer shoe. It's probably more summer with it being predominantly white leather, but you have just that black piping that goes along one of those first layers on the upper part. And then I just like those hints of blue and green. So that's a everyday Air Max.
And it does have a like, you could peel this off. There's more stuff that you could put, which is kind of cool. Another thing, sneakerheads are going to ask, how's the leather? It's butter. I'm not like, let me zoom in real quick. Look at that. That's like.
You ever noticed that people will stress over the leather on a retro to the ends of the earth. Yeah. There are other sneakers within the Nike umbrella
where when something's actually this comfortable, they're not going to ask about it. Yeah, it's crazy. But
you can pick up leather. So that's my second all-time favorite style of an Air Max now time. And it's really funny. I always beat myself up about this because I feel as if I should have a lot more Air Max ones. And I'm looking at like all of my Air Maxes right now. I feel like I should have more Air Max ones and tons of 97s. And I don't necessarily, because when the newer Air Max styles come out with the technology and just the colorway options, because things disappear so fast, I try and go and grab those. So I have like, 270s, 270 Reacts are really, really comfortable as well, guys. So you have so many options. Like, think about how vast the lineage is for Air Max. And I think that's why we all get excited every single year when this day rolls around, because I'm a firm believer there's an Air Max for everyone. Like, whether you think that or not, there's an Air Max for every single person.
Yeah. And I'm looking at my Air Max as well. I didn't realize how many Air Maxes I have. And you know what? For people who always say, no, you have to realize Jordan also did an Air Max. TJ, we're going to give him some knowledge today. So Jordan did a collab, and it was called Comfort Max. Yeah. This was one of them.
I remember that.
This shoe, I mean, it was like that South Beach colorway. I remember I think this came out around 2010. So is that when LeBron South Beaches came out?
I think that was that whole craze. Yeah, like that year.
So this is the same time as then. It's just dope. Like, they came out of this, they came out in a cool gray colorway. But yeah, Jordan did a whole line of these, and it was dope. Like, they took the 11 top and added, you could say the 90, Air Max 1 bottoms ish.
Yeah.
I mean, they changed it up a little bit, but it says Jordan right there. But it's a dope. Of course, the bottom is a little different. Jordan's doing Jordan. But
now, guys, listen. If you still want to Day and the celebration of Air Max Day, but you're looking for something that's lifestyle Jordan, and unfortunately I don't have it right here, but the Jordan Max Air 2. So that just released. Officially it was delayed at first, but it released early this month in March. The Future Beginnings colorway was the very first colorway. If you guys look around, you've actually seen pictures of Michael Jordan rocking that shoe, I believe, at a few Hornets games.
Yeah.
It's such a comfortable shoe, and I picked up the University Blue, Gold, and Opti Yellow colorway. It's very reminiscent of the Warriors actual colors, so that's why it touches me to the heart. But guys, I highly encourage you, just try the shoe out. It's broken in, amazing wear, first time you step in it, and it's meant to really be the shoe you leave by the door. Even the counter, so the heel on the interior part, it actually has like a textured part where you can put your toe on the heel like we normally take our shoes off, for you to purposely take your shoe off that way, but not actually damage any material that's kind of sensitive on the shoe itself, like suede or leather. So I think this is arguably the best brand new silhouette 2021. I'm going to jump out the window and say that now, even though we're only in March. And I confirm that I told a Jordan Brand team member that I feel like it's new silhouette of the year, just because of the way they were able to really merge comfort, but then a brand new style. Because I wasn't a fan of just the Jordan, the Max 200. I'll be honest with you, I didn't care. This one I think is amazing. So Jordan can still participate in Air Max Day, but I think that's interesting. So AJ and I will touch on, there are so many people that we know that are a part of Air Max Day today, and knock us that say, oh, well, you guys don't ever give any love to Adidas. But I will say this, I can't think of a day in Adidas world where everyone comes together, right? That's a fan of Air Maxes or a fan of all these silhouettes that are part of one single line. I just simply can't. So if there is one, educate me and let me know. I don't
Comment
know
below.
holiday for Adidas.
Yeah, comment below. I mean, is there a Adidas Day or Adi? No, what's the thing they have? Boost Day?
Is there, and this is the thing about it, if there is, I think that's awesome. I think there should be something for every major brand. If you have a line like this that stretches all the way back to 1979, like for Adidas, I feel like they should have something, because New Balance has Gray Day, where they celebrate all these different models in the gray colorway. So that's why hey, does Adidas have something like this? And that's another thing when it comes to Air Max. So many think the Air Max 1 really started it all. Now, I say started it all, but I say that because it was the first time we could visibly see air. That's what was so important about the 1987 Tinker creation. But if you're talking about just air, like being infused into the actual midsole, that was actually back in 1979. So that was the tailwind. And we always say, I believe this, we love the invention, we don't appreciate the inventors and the people that put everything into it. So I feel like we should say, shout out to Martin Ruby, I believe was the individual that actually, the aerospace engineer that went to Nike and said, hey, you should really infuse air, brand new technology, a new way to, change the cushioning in your shoe. And that was in the tailwind, but because you couldn't see it, people were like, what do you mean there's air in the shoe itself? So I think that actually speaks also to just continue to try. Like, he was rejected by 23 other sneaker brands or sneaker companies to want to infuse this into a shoe. And Nike finally said yes. So if you, and I was on an awesome talk with Chicks and Kicks Daily, and then James Whitner the other day. And you have to keep trying, you have to keep shooting your shot. If you get shot down so many times, but your passion is really to be in this space and sneakers and make it something special, listen, keep shooting. You might turn out like Ruby did.
Yeah. Can you imagine if...
So Rudy, I don't want to get that wrong. Martin Rudy, sorry.
Can you imagine if Air was at a different company? How crazy would that be?
I think Adidas would be where they were. I'm going to be honest with you, right? Because we're talking early, well, not early, but late 1970s. Nike still wasn't that crazy of a force. Not what they are now. They were really coming into their own, but they weren't what they are now. And so when you think about like what if somebody took Rudy's, like they actually took him up on that?
Never. I mean, again, he could have gone to Adidas before, and Adidas been like, yeah, let's do it, But back then, I don't think it was like so exclusive. I'm sure he could have been, working with multiple. Like, for example, now from what I was told, Adidas doesn't own the rights to Boost.
They
It's
don't. It's like I think they contract out, so
yeah,
somebody else could use.
yeah. So they just re-signed. I guess they re-signed.
Oh,
Yeah, I think they just re-signed the contract or something with the person who has the rights to it. I was just like, because I know, I don't know. I'm sure I could say this now because last year, when or was it a year and a half ago when the whole thing was going on, I was in Montreal with SneakerCon, and 2J's was of course there, and 2J's knows everybody and their mother, like he knows everybody. Guy came up, yeah, I think I can say now. It's like been almost 2 years, so yeah, the NDA is over. So a guy came up to him and he was talking to him. He goes like, hey, I guess he was like an Adidas, like he was someone from Adidas. Like
okay.
this man, the whole family, he came with 2 kids, wife, him, decked out in Adidas. I'm like, okay. And then he pulled out a shoe. It was
The sample.
it was a sample. He pulled out 2 or 3 of them, all the Kanye shoes without Boost. And then
Wow.
I think if you go back, I don't know if it's in one of 2J's videos, because I know he said we couldn't say anything. And I don't know why I'm talking about it now. This could have been like a whole nother conversation, but it was crazy to go back and see like, and it was heavy. Like, you could touch the bottom. It was, how like I don't even know the name of Adidas. I'm sorry guys. I just really don't know the name of the Adidas, the Yeezys, but the foam at the bottom, it was hard. It was sole. So he goes like, yeah, this is what they're looking at if the Boost contract doesn't go through.
Like didn't have a renewal.
Yeah, and that they were worried about that. They were worried about that. So do you ever think, okay, for example, say that happened, do you think Nike would also take that over or no? Do you ever think Nike would not?
So I don't know if they would. I don't know. That maybe that would just depend on how
If they
strategic
just wanted to like,
in the market. Now, if you're asking me if the capital is there, I would pull a chess move just to remove it from circulation so no one else could have the rights to it. Not
yeah,
that I need to use it because I have Air, and you and I both know the React Presto is such a comfortable shoe as well. Like to me, I put that on and I put a Boost on. I've said this before, I don't like how you sink into the Boost so much. And maybe it is because I have flatter feet. It's just not a comfortable wear for me that you sink in so much versus having a firm but soft comfort in like the React Presto. I prefer that. So I would continue to evolve Air, but I would just have Boost just off the market so no one else. It's like when you have a really rare car and you
yeah,
find out another one is available for sale, you buy it and destroy it just so the value of yours goes up. Think about it, if
yeah.
Boost taken off the market, that would, I think, increase the value of Air in
Mm-hmm.
the market.
Yeah, so that's why it was interesting, and then he just showed it, and I was like, wow. I think Marco and Alan were there too. They saw it too, and even
Is
they
it
were
just
like, "What is this?"
big like downgrade?
Yeah, no, I mean they looked exactly the same. They just felt
Good, but
they felt heavier. They did feel
used to
heavier.
not weighing anything when it comes to runners, trainers, all kinds of shoes. Like you pick up something Flyknit, it doesn't weigh anything. Even a
Mm-hmm.
LeBron that's built to handle LeBron's size and weight, it still doesn't feel like anything. It's still really light. So that would be weird. Like to hold a shoe now that's heavy, it's actually something weird for me.
Yeah, so that was kind of interesting. But yeah, other than that, let me ask you. So last year when you did Air Max Day, right? What was your favorite experience with it?
Oh
Because
my
you,
god.
girl, they went all out for you.
So it was, yeah, so mine was a little different, guys. So for my campaign, both individuals from there was someone present from Nike as well as Foot Locker headquarter corporate, and then we had an entire production team that was on site to set up, break down everything for that day. We kind of took over a Foot Locker for that day to be able to shoot. And so the most awesome part of that day, I think, would have to be, and it's something that you guys can't see, but they plan to actually shoot where we were in the sky, like we were actually in the air. And so I was in a makeshift like glass box that they built, so I'm standing on top of this glass and the actual videographer is underneath the like
Crazy.
whole contraption that was built. And so I'm doing all of these different movements, and it would look as if I were just in the air doing it. Now, unfortunately, we had to scrap that part. Like, a lot changed when the pandemic hit. That's what a lot of people don't know. Like, so many things changed, so many projects had to shift and pivot just based on the context of, the situation and the conversation going on about being inside versus outside. But I would say that was probably the coolest thing to watch them build that. And then they're like, yeah, just hop on up here. So you're just standing up there. People are all around and you just pretty much ignore them. But it was great just to be able to see, to have the whole team there. And when I tell you, like, they're solely devoted to you that day, they are. And so, like, not only are you part of Air Max Day, but you have like this whole team just making sure you're good and you're having an amazing experience. So if it's something you all ever are able to participate in, let me tell you, it's like bucket list item.
Yeah, I mean, the first year I've done it, and I was just grateful. You know, City Gear, Hibbett Sports reached out to me. They're like, hey, we want to send you some stuff. And I'm like, hey, I wasn't in a glass case, but my picture came out pretty fire. So if you haven't seen it, maybe Brian could put it up right here somewhere here, Ryan. But it was nice. The shoes are very comfortable. I have signed a deal with them going forward, so you will see me in a lot more stuff from City Gear and Hibbett Sports together. But they're great people over there, so I think
I think they try and tap into people on the ground,
yeah,
within the culture, because I know DJ Mel B on Instagram, good friend. I remember she did when the Air Max 90s came out. So actually, and I have mine here. So it wasn't the infrared pair, it was actually the blue pair. But so when the royal blue pair, when that pair came out, she actually received her size from them, and then she did a little shoot campaign for them. So I love that they tap into people that are just directly, within the community. I think that makes a difference. At least I would say, not to don't get me wrong, celebrities hold their weight always, right? Because they're in the limelight. So we always see what's on their feet or what's being worn or what's in and what's out. But I think for us, we look to people that are already in this space, to see how they style it, how they rock it. Is there a colorway or a design that we may not have known about? And that happens because there are so many different options out here for Air Max. It's not uncommon for you to see something and be like, I didn't even know that was a thing. People still don't know the 90, like the gold trail vibes. They still don't know that was a shoe that really released last year, because I think it never touched down in the States. You had to go overseas, aka I went to eBay and picked it up, like I do half of my
shout out to eBay has been very good to me the last few days.
You went shopping, didn't you?
Oh yes, I have a bunch of stuff on the way. eBay, and I know everything's gonna be coming authentic, because shout out to the guys at SneakerCon that run their authentication stuff. But yeah, eBay's been very good to me. Oh, I can show you what I got from eBay.
What do you have?
Well, it's an Air Max. We're talking about Air Maxes, so let me show you something I got from you.
Okay.
This is from 2012. So I've been doing this.
He wants y'all to know.
This is like this is a few years ago, but this was a pack when they did. It was called Beaches of Rio. I don't know if the camera's picking up, but again, it's supposed to be like the water, the sand and the mud, and it's just such a dope shoe.
Like, to me, if you say you're going to the beach, that's what I would think of. If somebody said, hey, when you think of the beach, I'm going to the beach, what comes to mind for a sneaker?
Yeah. So there was a whole pack. I believe they did an Air Max 95 as well. I think so. And the Air Max 95 looked dope.
Now, what's crazy about the 95? So funny conversation that's on Twitter. Like, listen, people, sneaker Twitter is always an interesting, comical place, real conversations going on. And so I guess there were I don't know if it was trivia or what's going on, but the conversation circled around the Air Max 95, and I saw Sneaker Fetish, aka Kari, just shake his head in a tweet because people were answering that Tinker was the designer for the Air Max 95, and it's just like, don't get me wrong, we got to give Tinker his roses, right? Listen, I can't reach it because my Air Max ones are over there, but we got to give Tinker his roses. I am always there to give that man his roses, but we have to remember that there are so many different people that are priceless within sneakers because of what they added to a certain silhouette, a certain release. So Tinker is not the person that we need to credit for the 95. So Sergio, I'm terribly sorry that people who you are. So people were just gonna say, can you Google him? So Sergio Lozano, I believe is how you pronounce his last name. And so he is the actual designer for the 95. And when you look at the 95 in itself, that's an interesting shoe to me. Now, it's not one that is the highest on my list. You know, the neon is always awesome, but it's meant to actually mimic and it draws inspiration from the human body. So like the way the upper looks as it's going up, that's supposed to mimic a human rib cage. And then if you look at the outsole on the bottom, it's actually supposed to represent like a human spine. That's why it looks the way that it does. So there's a lot. There's so many intricacies that went into the 95.
Big
but
time.
you know, everything is not Tinker. Like the 97 to me, and again, I feel like a bad person because I don't have more 97s, but I do have a 97 on the way, thanks to eBay. I picked it up. That was my my gift to myself for Air Max Day 2021, outside of another Jordan Max Air 2 that I picked up as well this morning. Okay, listen, it's March. It's Women's History Month. I'm treating myself, okay? But with the 97, so you have Christian Tresser, who's the designer for that. So I just think we have to remember there are so many people that put into the sneakers that we love, and we got to make sure that I just think we appreciate them a little bit more, knowing who they come from, right? Like everybody knows who Tinker is, but I always
He's
say,
not the only designer. That's the thing. Tinker is.
hey, first off, and I will admit I always forget Kobe's designer's name, but I know that they actually worked longer together, I think, than Tinker and Michael Jordan did. So that wasn't even like the most long-standing, you know, relationship. And we all know Kobe was heavily involved in so many different designs for everything that came out with him, the fit, the move, everything. But yeah, there's a lot that goes into Air Max, people. So let's remember to give everyone their roses, everyone their due respect when it comes to these styles. Now, interestingly enough, Nike, I don't know if they did this on purpose or not, because Yeezy released their foam runner today, aka I like to call it the dinosaur slip-on shoe.
Oh God.
They released the foam runner, the two-tone foam runner. And so Nike, I don't know if they did this to be petty, but they teased that Travis Scott is gonna drop an Air Max 1. And so now we have to ask the question, is the craze gonna start all over? Is it gonna be now where, and don't get me wrong, Air Maxes in general are somewhat hard to get depending on what they are right now as it stands. Is that going to go through the roof? Does frustration go even higher? Because we know what happens anytime Travis Scott puts his name on something or touches something, it just becomes ridiculously hard to get at that point. So like, for example, the Air Max 90, if you, for anybody watching here, right, the infrared, we know that this came back out. For some, it's a grail sneaker. And then Nike decided to pay homage to that. And so they provided us the SB Dunk Low Pro. And when I tell you, like, one for one design, they look amazing next to each other. But, you know, I still had to go secure this on the secondary market because I missed out on the drop, because now SBs and Dunks are just so difficult to get your hands on. And I would love for every colorway we see of this, that's like the OG colorways, I just think it would be amazing if we actually got this as well. Now, would I be able to get my hands on it? That part I don't know. But I just think that would be awesome. So now I guess the question is, will Travis make Air Max 1s even more difficult to get? Will we see those prices
100%. 100%. Soon as now that Nike just announced it, you're going to see more pictures of him starting to wear some rare Air Maxes. He'll be in Atmos, he'll be in Clot, he'll be in blah, 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 and all this stuff. And then all you're going to see is when you're searching, and this is how you know people are searching. When you go to eBay, you type it in. If that pops up on your search without you even searching, people are looking at it. Yep. And that is going to, the same thing happen. I'm telling everybody, give it another few months and you hear Air Force Ones are going to be skyrocketing. They're going to come back.
I think those and the blazer. I think
Blazer,
honestly,
yes.
it's gonna be a tandem. You're gonna have the blazer and the Air Force One go neck
Hmm.
and neck for that next silhouette to be hard to get. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
So if you are looking for that, I mean, and I'm on eBay literally every single day. I'm not just saying it because
No, he really is. Like I'll just get
I'm on
random
eBay every single day.
he found.
And it's just the thing with that is I'm looking for stuff that I have. Like, I mean, I really wish I could show you guys. So my sneaker room is done. My sneaker room is done. I wish I could turn the camera over there right now, but we got some big things planned.
Stay locked in because you'll get insight that you never knew you would soon enough. So you'll just have to stay tuned in.
Yeah, so it's done. I mean, I wish I could show you some stuff over there that, like some, I mean, I could go pull it, but maybe for next episode, we'll do maybe a little thing. But if you're looking for Air Maxes, 90s, 91, Air Max 90s, Air Max 1s, or even some Air Forces, start looking now because as soon as you see Travis Scott post something, game over. You might as well just, and it happens all the time. Like right now, I'm going to tell you one of my favorite, even though with all these amazing running shoes that are out, the Flyknit racers are hands down my favorite looking. The full thing is Flyknit, low profile, and I probably have 14 colors. I'm looking at them right now, about 14 different pairs. I had to stop at one point because I don't know who, somebody wore them, and instead of, you can get some, there's some pairs for like $200-300.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if the Cheeto, there's like the Cheeto colorway, the Hulk colorway, whatever, they're expensive. And I could have gotten them for like 120 bucks, 130. Yeah, somebody, it was a Kardashian or somebody wore a pair, game over.
And now it's really high. I mean,
It's starting to come down a little bit, but there's still like, I mean, there's a Cheeto colorway that I really want. It was like made after the Cheetos bag, and it was at like 200. I'm like, I'm not paying $200 for Flyknit racers.
dealing with
So
or the Nike, the Flyknit trainer, just the Oreo colorway,
yeah,
either predominantly white one or even the black one, because we remember Kanye West wore that.
Yeah,
So
I actually have them. They're sitting up top right there.
Still holds value. So trying to find my size first off is difficult. And then certain price. So that's always going to be a thing. But yeah, guys, with that announcement that Travis Scott will release the Air Max 1 with Nike, if you're in the market and looking for certain Air Max 1s you missed on, I would just bite the bullet, go get them now.
Yeah.
Like the Air Max 1 London is still high on my list and something I plan on picking up probably within, I hope within the next month is my plan to get the Air Max 1 London. Prices have dropped down a little bit. They're more reasonable. So that's my plan. I, again, love the Air Max 1 design. And with the London and the Amsterdam pair, Amsterdam is still a little bit higher than London.
What do you like better, the 1 or the 90s? What do you prefer? Yeah.
Look wise, the 1.
Yeah.
I guess 1. But if you're talking about like comfort,
90s, yeah.
I wore 90. So like I actually threw these on today. I threw the infrareds on, and then I threw the gold trail vibes on. So I wore 2 different ones today for different errands and stuff. I had to run out, come change, run back out. So I think in terms of comfort, the 90s, definitely. So
but the 1 has that look though.
If you go to off-white 90, there's so much more cushioning in there.
Yeah, I wore mine yesterday. They yellowed like crazy.
Actually, so I have the desert ore pair.
I need those so bad.
And so
I need those.
Like cushioning on the inside of here. It's got more cushioning on the inside. So now this is definitely more of a fall vibe just because it is that desert ore wheat colorway. But I still will wear this in the spring. I don't care.
I need that. I wore the original 10 one yesterday. They're so comfortable, but it's just like, man, they started to yellow. I mean, it's one of those, like, I know that's what it was. It's like the flipped inside out foam kind of thing, but
yeah, that's why it yellows, but that's still the one that I don't know, like the blazer that came out, to me, that was just one of the best of the 10.
Yeah.
90 was also one of the best of the 10. So yeah, I mean, I guess we're warning you guys, if the whole Travis Scott effect happens for the air, may have to pay a little more. So just be mindful of that. And speaking of having to pay more, so the Nike dropped the Air Max 97, Swarovski, they dropped the, what was it called? The Polar Blue. So we know the gold pair dropped before the silver bullet was the original one they actually did with the crystal design. That pair is going for north of 4 figures. It's like $2,000 right now on the secondary market. And then if you're looking for the gold ones, those are actually below retail for a lot of different sizes. So again, this is a $400 sneaker for retail. That's more than the Fear of God one. I need you all to understand that. Fear of God one is $350 or was $350 when it would drop. This Crystal 97 is $400. I know a lot of people that went for it yesterday. I saw a few W's.
Resellers.
I saw a few real like regular people W's that aren't resellers. For everyone that bought them up, the consensus was it tons of men that bought these pairs, which I would actually argue probably. So one of two things, okay? I better see a lot of men walking around and some Crystal 97s, or women, if you want these, okay, and you don't want to pay $700, $800, just be patient. And I say be patient because that's a special sneaker. That's not an everyday Air Max to me.
Yeah.
Air Max, like I'm going out with the girls, I have a sneaker event, I have a dress up event where I need to sparkle, to me that's when you rock that. Okay, you got a dress, it has sparkle, put the shoes on that sparkle, that's when that shoe gets brought out. It's not an everyday Air Max. So therefore I this would at least be me. I would say don't feel the need to drop like $800 on that Air Max. Wait a little bit, because I see those prices dropping down to either $500 or just below retail. And I feel like that's the time to strike and pick up this new release, if you really want it.
So what's going to happen is I saw the same thing with the gold, the liquid gold and the silver bullets. When they first dropped, they skyrocket. Everybody like boom, boom, boom. A few days later, people couldn't resell them. They were at the outlets.
It's a very sparkly paperweight at that point for the people.
I mean, for me, look, would I pay $400? No, because there's a lot of other shoes that I pay. Now, if somebody sent it to me, like, hey, if City Gear and Hibbett sent it to me, I would rock them like no other. I'd wear them for sure. I mean, I wear bright, hot pink shoes. I don't care.
Would you pay?
But yeah, so you just give it a little bit. You'll see them by next week, because they dropped today, right? Yesterday. Okay. So by next week, I would start checking your outlets, because you most likely find them sitting there, because people don't want to return them to Nike. They'll just walk into the outlets and return them. And if you get lucky, you'll get them at 30% off. That's what they usually do. They'll put them on the hash wall. And then, yeah. So
I understand, like you want, like they're still on my list. Not listen, I'm not paying the silver bullet price pair.
Yeah.
Gold pair is still on my list, and I just, again, that's on my list. But if I had my choice, I would honestly probably just go back for like the regular silver bullet, and then like the regular gold pair. That would probably just be me. But I still think they're great additions to the 97 line. I understand women want them. I would just say be patient, because again, if it's not a shoe you're going to wear every single day, that's something we all have to kind of wrestle back and forth with. And again, ask the question, is a shoe worth paying resale to you, not to anybody else? Is it worth paying resale to you? And then if it is, how often do you plan on wearing that shoe? If it's a lot, then you get your money's worth out of it, immediately if you wear it a whole lot. If it just kind of sits there for quite a bit, not really worth, at least to me, jumping all out the window as soon as something drops. Like, patience pays in this game, because again, those sellers get impatient. They can't move them. And there are so many other shoes dropping this year that will make them a real flip. Like, even if you sell this for $600, that's still not that high of a flip once you factor in shipping of what's going to be taken out of their profit. It's different than if they're trying to flip a Jordan 1, a Jordan 6, a Jordan 4 that holds some hype. So ladies, just be patient. You can get that shoe a little bit later on.
And if you really want them, one thing I've noticed is, like, when they do releases like this with like higher end Nikes, Nordstrom's carries a lot of women collabs. If you're in Chicago, downtown Chicago, Nordstrom's has forgot on which floor, but I think the second floor of their Nordstroms, they have a women's Nike little, like a setup. It's dope. They have some, they'll have the Kim Jones collabs, and they have this collab, that collab. You'll find it there. It's just, you just gotta.
The Olivia Kim 4 too.
Yeah,
so.
Olivia, they had them. They had Olivia Kim 4s over there. I went to go, I saw them. I'm just like, oh, but the thing is, they don't carry extended sizes. It's whatever the sizes are. And me, I don't resell. I wear everything. So it was cool to see it. That's where I saw the original gold, liquid gold, and silver bullet Swarovski. In my opinion, again, I like Swarovski as a brand. I love Nike as a brand, as you know. It just didn't look. It looked to me. It looked like spark. It looked like somebody put sprinkled some. What's that thing? Like we used to do in art class. You put the glue and you put the. That for me, that's what it looked like.
7. You just feel like someone took glue.
Yeah.
They put it on different panels.
And I love Nike. I love Nike. I just feel like, I don't know, like you. It's like the smallest stones that they had. Like if it was actually like, for example, if you seeing like, even if they just did where like, for example, this black, and you actually see the stones going around, that'd be fire. Like, or where the 3M is just like the bigger stone, not just like not like sprinkled, but like if you actually had stones, I think that would look so much better. But at the end of the day, it costs them too. If it's a $400 retail, the shoe's probably costing Nike like at least $50.
No, I think it's going to cost them something. And I like the smaller sparkles, and I only say that because if you go too large with the sparkle.
Well, I'm not talking about big. I'm talking about,
Well, yeah, it looks like it's a bedazzled project. And so it takes away, I think, from the shoe in itself. So yeah, listen, I know that was a hot shoe. The Air Max 90 Bacon is one that a lot of people are going after. The Nike Air Max Pre-Day is Nike's new release. They're really trying to focus on curbing their carbon footprint. So, they are making that punch for zero waste. That is a really big focus for them with this shoe, and just with a lot of other things that they're putting out this year. So again, Air Max does what it does every single year. You have something brand new. It's innovative. It still usually pays homage to Air Max in the past. And we get to see where, everyone's mind in the kitchen, I guess, is kind of moving towards with everything new in the future. So we're always appreciative of that. So guys, hopefully you all picked up some Air Max this month. It doesn't have to be the new ones that dropped again, right? It doesn't have to be the Bacon or the Pre-Day. It can be any of them. Remember, we just said even the Jordan Max Air 2, that's an option for you too. So hopefully you pick something up, added a brand new Air Max to your collection. Again, there's an Air Max out there for everyone. If you guys participated or checked out all of the content around today, I would say do that. You can follow, myself on Instagram at talks.with.tj, always reposting tons of Air Max Day content. You can follow AJ and check his out at Ty87 Kicks, since he is part of the City Gear and Hibbett Sports campaign for Air Max 2021. Before we close out, AJ, anything else?
Yeah, make sure you guys go buy your lit wall kick. Look how nice this looks. It like goes with my monster. Yeah, so make sure you guys check out the lit wall kicks. And other than that, make sure you guys download the OMF On My Feet app on the Android and Android marketplace. It's a place for sneakerheads where you can see, well, what we talk about here is pretty much, you'll see it. Like, people, it's just a love for the culture. That's what it is. It's a love for the culture. Everybody's in one place. Judgment-free zone. You can post Adidas. I'm not gonna flag your post, but no, just post whatever. And yeah, with that being said, take it away, TJ.
All right. Thank you guys again so much for tuning in to another episode of Mic'd Up with AJ and TJ. We'll be back next week. So as always, thanks for the support, and we will see you guys later. Peace.